So people have been saying that it's the Rocky, Rudy, Snail underdog story. What makes Turbo different than than another underdog character?
It's a snail, for starters. It comes from right at my front yard, and based on my own son's obsession with all things fast, and my front yard snail problem. So I definitely studied all of those movies. They were absolutely my inspiration. The Rocky, the Karate Kids, the Breaking Away. Breaking Away especially was the primary one. And just sort of looked at what made those movies successful, and the hallmarks of any good underdog story are generally a character who nobody expects to succeed. And who would anyone expect less to succeed than a snail? They're smushed, they're salted, they're eaten by the French, they're carried off by crows. They're the perfect underdog, really.
Who's a character from one of your inspiration stories that you rooted for kind of most of all?
The character in Breaking Away, that Dennis Christopher character, the dynamic between he and his dad, played by Paul Dooley in the movie, was kind of the archetypal relationship that I based Turbo and Chet's relationship off of. Dennis Christopher in that movie plays this teenager kind of going into college, who lives in a very small town in Indiana, and is obsessed with these Italian cyclists. And so much so that he speaks in this Italian accent, even though he's not Italian. He shaves his legs to be like the Italians that he admires. He sings these Italian operas and drives his dad bonkers. His dad works at the local factory. And that was just, that just felt like it was such a juicy character story and such a great dynamic between those two characters that I remember when we first met with Paul Giamatti, I was kind of pitching him the story, and he was looking at this book of all these images and kind of like, trying to follow the story of it all. And then I started mentioning Breaking Away in this relationship, and he was like, got it. I get it. And then he went in there and he banged out the greatest recording session I've ever heard.
All at once?
Rare, because usually the first session we would go and play and let the actors really kind of just find the character. And in this case, we had a pretty awful temp voice that I was desperate to replace because we had a screening coming up. And I asked him, like, look, I don't normally work like this, but would you mind if you would just do like a few takes of every line, and maybe we'll learn something about the character that way, and then the next session we can come back and play. And it was like, he did about 4 takes of each line. Every take was amazing. It was just a matter of like, which perfect take do you want to use?
That's kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
Makes your job easy. What characteristics of Turbo do you have also, do you find?
I can definitely relate to his persistence and sort of perseverance and striving to achieve his goal. Making this movie was sort of its own form of underdog story, as you can imagine, trying to get a snail movie made in Hollywood.
Slow going. What would, you come up with some amazing names for each of the snail racers. What would your snail race name be?
Mine? Oh, wow. What would it be? I have a nickname named JJ Sugar, so maybe it'd be JJ.
Not JJ Sugar?
Maybe it would be Sugar.
Okay.
And JJ, depending on what mood the snail felt like he was in.
That's it. Been slower go. All right, Whiplash pumps Turbo up in those moments at the race. What is your go-to pump up, get psyched song that you go to?
Oh man, song specifically?
Or album, artist that.
I like to listen to. just so many things. I love White Stripes. I love Arcade Fire. There's a ton of hip hop stuff too that gets me going. And I have to say, anytime I see Rocky on TV, like it doesn't matter where the movie is along its runtime, I get sucked in and I'm watching it all the way to the end.
Agreed, same. Okay, so we have snails, with various forms of different special talents. If you could decide to be any other type of creature and have a special talent, what would you want it to be?
What would I want to be? I would love to be an orangutan that was incredibly charming with the ladies.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yes, I think a kind of